Welcome back to Theme Park Spark.
Today we're at Universal Studios Hollywood, and I'm going to give you some pro tips that you need to know before riding the famous Studio Tour, which takes you on the real working Universal Studios Hollywood backlot. Now, this is a tram with 4 different cars, and I'm going to tell you which car we prefer to sit in and which side you might want to sit on depending on your priorities of what you want to see. So let's jump in.
I have other videos where I show you a full POV experience of the Studio Tour, but that's not what this video is about. Although I will be showing you a lot of footage I took on the Studio Tour and some side-by-side comparisons to show you why one side of the tram is better than the other in certain circumstances. First, it's important to note that the Studio Tour is about 45 minutes to an hour long, so make sure you stop by the restroom before you get in line for the tour. Second, you can bring food and drinks with you on the tour, but keep in mind that the tour can be bumpy at times and you will have to hold on to anything you bring with you on the tour. There are no cup holders or anything like that. Now that we're ready to board the tram, which car should you pick? There are 4 cars. The tour guide sits in the first car, so that's almost too close. The second car can be kind of loud with noise from the engine of the first car. The fourth car is almost too far away, but car 3, at least for us, is the sweet spot. It's not too loud, and by the time the tour guide mentions something, we're just about to get to it. So it allows us to soak in the experience, as opposed to if we were sitting in the first car and the tour guide mentioned something as we're already driving past it. Now that you've gone to the restroom, decided if you want a snack, and chosen car 3, the big question, and what we'll spend most of this video talking about, is which side of the tram to sit on. If you are one of the first people to board the tram, you will be encouraged to move all the way to the end of the row. That will put you on the right side of the tram. If after watching this video you decide that you'd rather sit on the left side of the tram, I would recommend choosing a row where someone already sat down so that you can fill in the empty seats on the end of the row instead of moving all the way across. That will put you on the left side of the tram. One important thing to note is that the Studio Tour is different every time you go on it. The route changes depending on what is being filmed on the lot that day. So you may not see every area or experience every attraction. In this video, I'm going to call out the attractions and sets that you will most likely see and where it really makes a difference which side of the tram you're sitting on. I'll skip over most instances where it really doesn't make much of a difference. First, let's talk about the attractions you can see best from the right side of the tram. Jaws. If Jaws is a priority for you, definitely sit on the right side of the tram. I don't even bother trying to take pictures of this part of the tour unless I'm on the right side. Psycho. If you want to see Norman Bates and the Bates Motel really well, definitely pick the right side of the tram. You'll have a better view of the actual Psycho house from the left side because you're going to drive right by it on your left. But I still prefer the right side because there's an actor playing Norman at the Bates Motel, and you really need to be on the right side to enjoy this part of the experience. If you can call it enjoyable to have Norman chase you with a knife. There is also a mural of the Universal Monsters, and you have a much better view of this on the right side. You can barely see it from the left side. Now, let's talk about the attractions that you can see better from the left side of the tram. Kong Island. This is where King Kong battles dinosaurs. I'm showing you the experience from both sides of the tram right now, and I truly enjoy the experience more from the left side. While there is action taking place on both sides of the tram at the beginning, towards the end, most of the action takes place on the left side. This is where it looks like a dinosaur has gotten a hold of a tram car. You can't see this as well from the right side, and once this action starts, most of the action happens on the left side. One note about King Kong. This attraction was recently renovated, and it is no longer King Kong 360 3D. This is a very recent change as of this week. It was closed until recently. I went on it today, and no more 3D glasses. Instead, you can now enjoy the experience without the glasses. Honestly, I like it better without the glasses. Another attraction that's better on the left side of the tram is Earthquake. I'm showing you the view from both sides of the tram for comparison. There isn't much to see from the right side except for the tidal wave at the very end. War of the Worlds is also better from the left side, at least in my opinion. That's where the airplane has crash landed. I'm showing you both sides of the tram right now for comparison. The houses are on the right side, so if that interests you, then sit on the right. but the airplane crash is on the left, and I find that more interesting. Then there's flash flood. I also think it's better to be on the left for flash flood. Well, you can see a little bit of water coming down on the right side. I don't even bother filming it from the right side or taking pictures over there because the flood itself comes from the left side. Now for Back to the Future fans, if you want to see Courthouse Square and the courthouse from the Back to the Future movies, you definitely have to sit on the left side. It isn't always part of the tour, but if you want to have a chance of being able to see it or take a picture of it, sit on the left side. My husband's favorite part of the tour is actually towards the beginning of the tour, and this is driving by the bungalows. This is where executives have their offices, such as different producers. And you have a much better view of this from the left side. It will be on your left side. And then right after you pass the bungalows, you're also going to see the set for St. Denis Medical. So if you're a fan of that show, you'll also want to sit on the left side of the tram. Now, I am going to mention a few areas where I feel like it doesn't matter which side of the tram you sit on. For example, here's a side-by-side comparison of the set from the movie Nope. Your view will be very different depending on which side of the tram you're sitting on, but I think they're about equally interesting. The same goes for the Little Europe set where The Good Place and the Universal Monster movies were filmed. Unless you want to see the train station from The Good Place, then you'll definitely want to sit on the left side. Otherwise, both sides I think are equally interesting. You'll also drive by picture cars, which are cars that are used in movies, and they'll have cars on both sides of the tram, so I think that both sides are, again, equally interesting. Now, looking at this list, it seems obvious to me that the left side has a lot more going on than the right side. So unless being face-to-face with Jaws or Norman Bates are super important to you, I'd suggest sitting on the left side in car 3. Tell me in the comments which side of the tram you plan to sit on and what you're most excited to see on the studio tour at Universal Studios Hollywood. Next, I suggest checking out my latest studio tour POV video where I include footage from both sides of the tram for the ultimate experience. It's extra cool because they were actually filming that day and I got a little sneak peek of that as well. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified about upcoming videos about Universal Studios Hollywood and other places worth visiting in Southern California and beyond. See you next time.